Imagine this. You work hard every single day, you earn money consistently, your bank account isn't empty, your life looks normal from the outside. But somehow at the end of every month, you're left wondering where it all went. Because no matter how much you make, it never seems to stay. It just slips through your hands quietly, almost invisibly. And the worst part is, you don't feel like you're wasting money. You're not making huge, reckless purchases. You're not buying luxury cars or expensive watches. You're just living your life, paying for things that feel normal, reasonable, even necessary. And that's exactly where the trap begins, because the real problem isn't big, obvious spending. It's the small, invisible leaks that happen every single day. The coffee you grab without thinking, the subscription you forgot about, the extra delivery fee, the slightly more expensive option you choose.
Because it feels insignificant in the moment. And none of these things hurt individually, none of them feel like a mistake, but together they create a system that slowly drains your money without ever triggering a strong emotional reaction. And that's why it's so dangerous, because you never feel the loss, you only feel the result at the end of the month, when your balance is lower than expected and you can't clearly explain why. And this creates a cycle where you start believing that your income is the problem, that you simply don't make enough. So you focus on earning more, working harder, chasing higher numbers, but the leaks stay exactly the same. And as your income grows, your spending quietly grows with it, not in big jumps, but in small upgrades, slightly better food, slightly better apps, slightly more convenience, and before you realize it, you're making more money than ever, but feeling exactly the same. Still behind, still confused, still stuck, because the system didn't change, only the scale did. And this is what most people never understand. You don't have a money problem, you have a flow problem. Money's coming in, but it's not staying, and if you don't control the flow, it doesn't matter how big the income becomes, it will always find a way to disappear. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting, because these leaks are not random. They are driven by your habits and your environment, the apps you use, the people you follow, the lifestyle you see every day. All of it subtly pushes you towards spending without thinking, and over time, this becomes automatic. You don't decide to spend, you just do it, because your brain has learned that it's normal. And once something feels normal, you stop questioning it, which means the leak continues without resistance, and the only way to stop it is to make the invisible visible, to slow down and actually look at where your money is going, not in a general sense, but in detail, every transaction, every category, every pattern. Because once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it, and that's when things start to change. Not because you suddenly become perfect, but because you become aware. And awareness breaks the automatic behavior that was draining your money in the first place. And when you fix the leaks, something powerful happens. Your money starts staying with you. Your stress decreases, and for the first time, it feels like you're actually moving forward. Not because you earned more, but because you finally stopped losing what you already had. And that's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who build real financial progress. They don't just focus on earning, they control the flow, they close the leaks. And once you do that, even the same income starts to feel completely different, because now it's working for you instead of quietly slipping away. But here's where most people still fail, because even after they understand all of this, even after they become aware of their spending, they go back to their old habits. And the reason is not lack of intelligence, it's lack of system. Because awareness without structure doesn't last. You might track your spending for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, but if you don't build something that supports that awareness automatically, your brain will slowly return to what feels easy. And what feels easy is always the path of least resistance. And in modern life, the path of least resistance is spending. Everything is designed to make it easy, fast, and frictionless. One-click purchases, saved cards, subscriptions that renew automatically, apps that remove the feeling of spending entirely. And when you combine that with your natural desire for comfort and convenience, you get a perfect system for losing money without noticing. So if you want to actually fix this, you need to do the opposite. You need to add friction back into your spending. You need to make it slightly harder to spend and slightly easier to save. And that small shift can completely change your behavior over time. For example, instead of keeping your cards saved on every platform, remove it. Force yourself to enter details manually. Instead of allowing subscriptions to renew automatically, review them monthly. Instead of making impulse purchases instantly, create a rule where you wait 24 hours before buying anything non-essential. And these changes might seem small, but they interrupt the automatic pattern that was draining your money. And once that pattern is broken, you regain control. Now, let's talk about another powerful concept, which is visibility, because what you see consistently influences how you behave. If you never look at your finances, if you avoid checking your account, if you don't track your spending, your brain treats money as something abstract, something distant, something that doesn't require attention. And when something doesn't require attention, it doesn't get managed. So one of the simplest but most effective things you can do is increase visibility. Check your accounts regularly. Track your expenses, review your numbers, not obsessively, but consistently, because the more familiar you are with your financial situation, the less likely you are to make careless decisions. And this is where many people struggle, not because they can't do it, but because they avoid it. They don't want to see the reality. They don't want to confront the numbers. And that avoidance keeps the leaks alive. Now, let's go even deeper, because there's another layer that influences your financial behavior, and that is your identity, how you see yourself in relation to money. If you see yourself as someone who is bad with money or always struggling, your actions will unconsciously align with that belief. You will make decisions that reinforce that identity, not because you want to fail, but because your brain prefers consistency between belief and behavior. So if you want to change your financial reality, you also need to change your identity. You need to start seeing yourself as someone who is in control, someone who manages money intentionally, someone who pays attention to details. And this is not about pretending. It's about aligning your actions with the person you want to become. And over time, that alignment becomes your new normal. Now let's connect everything. You have leaks driven by habits, reinforced by environment, supported by frictionless systems, hidden by lack of visibility, and maintained by identity. And all of these factors work together to keep you stuck. But the moment you start addressing them, even in small ways, the entire system begins to shift. Your spending becomes more intentional. Your money starts staying with you. Your stress decreases, and you begin to feel something that most people rarely experience: control. And control is the foundation of financial progress, because without it, even high income can feel unstable. But with it, even moderate income can create stability and growth. And this is why some people seem to get ahead with less, while others struggle with more. It's not just about how much they earn, it's about how they manage what they have. Now, let's talk about long-term impact, because every dollar you save from these leaks is not just a dollar kept, it's a dollar that can be used for something better, something that moves you forward instead of holding you back. It can be saved, invested, or used intentionally. And over time, these small changes compound into something significant, not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily. And that steady progress is what creates real financial security, not sudden spikes, not lucky breaks, but consistent behavior. Over time, and this is where patience becomes important, because once you fix the leaks, you might not see immediate dramatic results, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It means the system is stabilizing, and as it stabilizes, the results will follow. And this is where most people give up, because they expect quick changes. They expect instant improvement, and when they don't see it, they go back to their old habits. But if you understand how this works, you realize that the real benefit is not immediate. It's cumulative. It builds over time. And the longer you stay consistent, the more powerful it becomes. Now imagine your life 1 year from now if you close even half of your money leaks. You keep more of what you earn, you feel less stress, you have more options. And that alone can change your entire experience with money. And now imagine 5 years, 10 years. The difference becomes massive, not because you made one big decision, but
because you made many small ones consistently. And that is the real secret behind financial progress. It's not about perfection. It's not about extreme discipline. It's about building a system that works, a system that supports your goals, reduces unnecessary losses, and allows your money to stay and grow. And once you have that, everything changes. You stop feeling like you're chasing. You stop feeling like you're behind, and you start moving forward with clarity and control. And that is the moment where your financial life shifts from reactive to intentional, from chaotic to structured, from stressful to stable. And it all starts with something simple: noticing where your money is quietly slipping away and deciding to take that control back.